I am Batman. Average Sniper.
What's up, guys? Average Sniper here, and today I am bringing you a video about, you guessed it, sniping. But specifically, I want to talk about the class that I've been using. I've been getting a lot of requests to make a video talking only about my favorite class. So of course, I consider my favorite class to be the best class, obviously, for me. But there's other options in this game. So just because I say this is the best class for me, doesn't mean it's the best class for you. Feel free to add your opinions on the classes that you like, the setup you like, and let's go ahead and get started. So for my primary weapon, my favorite and what I think is the most effective sniper rifle in the game is the SMLE Marksman. Now the SMLE, the SMLE Mark III Marksman is my favorite. The SMLE Mark III has some different variants. You can have it in iron sights, which is the infantry variant. If you pre-ordered the game and you have the deluxe version, I believe you can have it in the Lawrence of Arabia SMLE, which is basically just a cool camo. You can have it in the carbine, which is kind of like an ACOG iron sight, if you will, with some different reticles. And then my favorite is the Marksman. And with the Marksman, it's really cool because you get this 4x zoom like an ACOG scope from Battlefield 4, but it's more of a scope instead of a sight. So it really works great. Makes you feel like you're aiming down sights, and you get a lot of viewable area because you're only zoomed in by 4. So it's awesome. For the reticle, I prefer the beam reticle, but really that's completely up to you. Whatever reticle you think works the best for you, go ahead and use it. I never use a bayonet on any of my sniper rifles because if you put a bayonet on your sniper rifle, it's going to slow you down. It's going to make the aim down sights time slower, and I feel like it makes my guy more sluggish overall just in moving around. So to move faster and to aim faster, I remove the bayonet from my rifle. Also, if you have the 4x Marksman scope, which is technically not a scope, there's no glint, so you don't get that weird flash that gives your position away to the enemies. It looks like it's shining a flashlight off your gun in this game sometimes. So if I was to go with another gun other than the SMLE, I'd probably go with the Russian 1895 Sniper. Now the Russian 1895 also has some other variants, and I won't get too detailed into that. You can check it out. I mean, it has the infantry variant, it has a trench variant, and they both do different things. But my favorite is the sniper variant. Now this gives you a bigger scope, which you can adjust between 5x all the way up to 10x. I prefer the chevron reticle, but once again, put any reticle you want on that makes you feel the most comfortable. That has absolutely no impact on how well you're going to play the game unless you find a reticle that actually works amazing for you and maybe gives you more field of view or something like that. It just makes it easier to see. So find a reticle that works for you. You know, like I said, what works for me won't necessarily work for you, or maybe it will. So chevron reticle is what I prefer. No bayonet, obviously, and 6x zoom for the magnification. Now, if I'm using any other gun, it would probably be the Gewehr 98. Now, the Gewehr 98 is more for long range, so if you're setting up a long range class, this is the way to go. The beam reticle is what I prefer on the Gewehr 98. No bayonet and 6x zoom. I rarely go above 6x zoom unless I'm doing long range sniping, and like I said, I hardly ever do long range sniping. I'm more of a close to medium range sniper. So all you guys that ask me what's your longest headshot and this and that, it's not that far, okay? I think it's about 326 meters. So maybe I will work on getting a longer headshot some other time, but I am a close to medium range sniper. But I can do the long range, I just prefer not to. I prefer to be closer to the action. So that's about it for the primary weapon. So let's go ahead and move on to what you should have as your secondary weapon in this class setup. Oh, but real quick, before we do that, I know there's other sniper rifles that I didn't talk about, and they're totally awesome. Nothing wrong with the other sniper rifles. I'm just talking about the ones that work best for me right now. So feel free to get out there and try the other ones because you really can't go wrong. Okay, so moving on to secondary weapons. The pistols in this game are so important because if you're a close to medium range sniper like me, you're going to be running into a lot of engagements where you get a hit marker and you need to switch to your pistol very fast to finish them off. Or maybe you just aren't, wanting to take a follow-up shot because you might miss, they're moving, or maybe you're so close that using a pistol is going to be much more effective than using a sniper rifle, which, let's face it, is made for long to medium range. So picking the right pistol is important. The pistol you see here is the Mars Automatic. That is a very powerful pistol. 3 shots to the body will kill 2 shots to the head as long as you're playing with normal settings. So it's not my favorite though. The Frommerstop is my favorite because it fires fast and it has very low recoil, so you can shoot it pretty much as fast as you want without having to find the sweet spot in timing between your shots. That was a big problem for me when I first started playing this game, because when I use a pistol, I just like to bang, 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 bang. I just like to shoot it as fast as possible. And until I found the Frommerstop, I was getting pretty annoyed. So the Frommerstop would be my favorite. The Mars Automatic would probably be my second favorite because of its raw power, but huge recoil. You cannot rapid fire that thing. And my third favorite would be the M1911, which is the first pistol you get in the game, so you basically start with it. Oh, and I think I failed to mention that the SMLE Mark III Marksman would be the first sniper rifle you start out with in the game as well. So, one of my favorite snipers and one of my favorite pistols are the ones you start out with. So if you've never even played this game before, you get to start out with some of the best weapons in the game already, at least in my opinion. So that's it for the secondaries. Just like the primaries, there are other secondaries to choose from, and they all work great. But these 3, by far, are my favorite ones for my sniper class. And now we have arrived at the part where I'd like to talk about what are the best gadgets to use. Now, I've used pretty much all the gadgets, and I've come up with 2 gadgets that I pretty much cannot live without. So those gadgets are, number 1, the Flare Spotter, and number 2, the Trip Bomb. Now I'm going to talk about the why I love these so much. Okay, so as you may or may not know, the mini-map in Battlefield 1 does not show an enemy when they shoot. You remember in previous Battlefields, even if you're a Call of Duty player and you've never played this, on the mini-map if somebody shoots, they show up. Well, not in this game. The mini-map in this game is basically used for enemies that are spotted, and so you can see where you are on the map, obviously. Now, if somebody shoots a spotting flare that's in your squad, you should be able to see all the enemies, that are in that radius. That's how it works. So it gives you a big advantage, even when you're playing by yourself, but especially if you're playing with your squad, because you can shoot a spotting flare in, and all of a sudden you see where all the enemies are, you see where they're moving, you get a better idea of how you should proceed with attacking that objective or building or whatever it is where the enemies, are protecting. So the spotting flare is amazing. It's just amazing, and it's pretty much, once I put it on, I never took it off, because I don't know about you, but I like being able to see where the enemies are, where they're coming from, how close they are to me, and all that. Having said that, make sure you adjust your minimap. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually adjust the scope of your minimap, the size of your minimap in the game options. So find that options in the game options, and you'll probably have a much better time, because the minimap is really small to start with, and you can only see people that are really close. It's good to be able to see the people that are a little bit further away. If you are wondering what size or where the setting is, I actually have a settings video on my channel, so go check that out for more detailed information. Alright, for the next gadget, it's the Trip Bomb, and I like to use the Incendiary Trip Bomb instead of the, I believe they have a gas Trip Bomb, and I believe they have an explosive Trip Bomb. I like the Incendiary because, 1, you get 2 of them. How awesome is that? And 2, it basically does a huge amount of damage. It can do 100 damage to your enemy if they go directly through it and they don't prone down, if they don't get stop, drop, and roll. In this game, if you run over a trip bomb or if you're on fire, you can go prone and it will reduce. It's like a stop, drop, and roll effect. That's what you do if you're on fire. Well, I guess it's what you should do. I've never been on fire before. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Knock on wood. And that's my favorite gadget. So the Trip Bomb, Incendiary, and the Flare Spot, the spotting flare. For my grenade, I prefer the light anti-tank grenade. In the recent update, they made it so it doesn't throw slow anymore. It throws just as fast as the frag or the stick grenade. It is really great. It does a lot of damage to infantry, and it does a fair amount of damage to vehicles. I think on a heavy tank you can get maybe 16 damage, and on artillery truck and light tank, I believe you can get 22 damage. Melee weapons, I prefer the big boys, the hatchet, and the shovel. Now, there's other melee weapons out there, and I don't know all of them, but the hatchet and the shovel do a huge amount of damage, and they work awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want more in-depth analysis on anything else, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Like and subscribe. Later.